In this video, we installed an electric kit here on the bike. I had a lot of people asking about that. The day has come now. I've done a few videos now on these bikes. These are Worksman Dual Trikes. Now through the last few videos, I've had a lot of questions about electric motors on these. Right now, these are not electric, but the day has now come and I've got an electric motor kit for each one of these bikes. So today we're going to do the install. I hope to take this step by step. Hopefully I can help you if you want to convert your dual trike here to an electric motor, or if you just have a pedal bike you want to convert to an electric motor. Hopefully this video can help you as well. Now, as far as the kits that we're using for these bikes, I'll put a link in the description. They're right from Worksman Cycle. Most people who watch this channel are from the US, so I'll put a link in there for the US. Now I'll put a link for anyone from Canada as well, where I purchased mine from. Now the kits we're using is direct from Worksman Cycle, so let's get on with the installation. All right, here's the boxes as they were sent to me. We'll open these up, see what's inside. All right, we got a couple of these boxes in here. Now I should say, because we're doing two bikes, I'll just concentrate on, we're probably going to have duplicates of everything, so I'll just concentrate on one at a time. There, we got a whole new front tire here. As far as the big box here was the front tire and the other smaller box. Okay, this looks like our battery here. All right, here's our instructions here with the battery. Again, okay, that's just our battery. Let's just leave this in the box for now. We'll put the other battery in the garage. Okay, let's open this box. All right, we've got an owner's manual here. Not sure if there's any installation instructions in there, but we'll go through that. And we got probably our controller, a lot of our wiring, things like that. So we got our tire with our electric motor here. We got all our components, probably our controller, our wiring, and we got our battery. All right, we'll try to break this video down, simplify things as best as I can. The new electric motor kit from Worksman comes with a new front tire, new fork. So what we're going to do, orientate this the same as our current fork. So the new wheel that comes with the kit, of course, has this electric motor in it. The electric motor has the wiring. The wiring comes right out of the center hub, and it's tie wrapped to the fork here. Now, we just want to make sure we got the same orientation, because we're going to change this one out with this one. This one has brakes in the center. This, you can't have center brakes because of the motor. So we got brakes here on the wheel, which is this cable here. This cable here also has an extra wire on there. That's going to be hooking up to our controller. So I'm going to start off by putting air in this tire, just to make things easier to work. All right, we got our tire inflated here. Now we'll look at this. So this is going to come out of here. You can see we got our two bearings here. One for the top, one for the bottom. So we need to loosen this off, get that. So what I'm going to do first, take our handlebars off. So because this wheel comes with a brake, what I'm going to do is take the brake off of our handlebars now and remove that, and to put so that when we take this off, it's going to come off with it. So we're going to start off by releasing the fastener to put this on the handlebar, run down this cable, and we'll take these cable ties off, break them all the way down here. Then this cable will come off with the front wheel. There, now our brake cable's free. It's going to come off with the front wheel. Now we're going to loosen the handlebar here. Sometimes you might have to pinch the front wheel with your knees. Now, should just have to loosen that. This should slide right up. There we go. Take that out. It's got a type of fastener in there that gets tight as you tighten that. So if you loosen it, it gets loose. We'll just put that aside. All right, now it's a matter of taking this off. Okay, we got our handlebars removed. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to use channel locks to loosen this off and take that nut off. Then we're going to come down here to where this knurled piece is, and we're going to remove that. Okay, so I removed my nut, removed the knurled nut. So I removed this nut. I got my two washers. Then I removed this knurled piece off of here. Now, in order to remove this wheel from here, these springs are holding it in. So I need to loosen off this nut I need to loosen off this nut here in order to get this spring off, and then the same on this side. So we'll do that now. There, released all the spring tension there. Now I can just remove that spring. I'll do the same thing on this side. Okay. There, now we remove that spring. Now see if it'll come out. All right. Now we got it all separated. All right, now in with the new, we're going to remove one of these bearings. You can see the one bearing at the top stayed in the sleeve here, so we're going to reuse that. Just feel the bottom here. Yeah, the bottom one came out, so we're going to fit that in. Just like that. Make sure that bottom bearing's seated in there. We got our top bearing in. Put our knurled nut here. And we're going to snug that up. Get her. Just going to give it a little turn with the channel locks here just to kind of snug it up. Okay. Now I got two washers. One has this little bump on the inside and one doesn't. So when you put this on, that bump's got to line up. So you see there's a little slot where all the threads are here on the shaft. That little bump inside that washer is going to fit in there. Then your other washer is going to go over top. Then you're going to tighten everything down with this nut. There. This should turn side to side, but not be loose like up and down or wobbling around. All right, now we'll put our handlebar back on. Again, we're just going to fit that down in there. Roll that down. And by the way, if you want to adjust the height of your handlebar a little bit, you'd come up a little bit like that and tighten that down. Just kind of snug it up. Now what you want to do is eyeball this so that it's straight with your wheel. So what I like to do, I like to pinch the wheel with my knees when I'm tightening this and wiggle the handlebar where it needs to be. So the bracket that held our springs, I'm going to loosen this off, take this black bracket off, and I'm going to put it behind this nut up here, the nut that holds the brake system. Okay, I got the bracket off the old fork. I'm going to mount this onto the new bike. I'm going to mount it here on this bolt that holds your brake assembly. I'm going to put it back here. Everything's different size. Probably 10 mil. So you see that bracket there? I'll bolt it onto this bolt with the bracket pointing up. We'll tighten that on there. Okay. Now hook one spring in there. Hook the other spring in there. Now put our springs back in our eyelets here. Just one on that side, one on that side, and we'll tighten up our tensioners here. Now I got my brake cable here. I'm gonna run it up, but the cable's not quite long enough to reach the handlebar where the old one was. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove the cable part of the brake here and put the cable from the old wheel onto here. Okay, I'm gonna squeeze the brake with my hand here. I'm gonna release that cable. There we are. Now our cable just slides right out. Now we'll take the cable off the old wheel. Okay, I took it off the old bike. I took the adjustment and everything off of the wheel part. You may have to cut that little end off in order to feed it through here. Okay, I got the cable out of our sleeve. Okay, you're gonna have to give this a twist to feed that back in. Just keep twisting it, pushing it. Okay, got the cable through. Now we'll hook the cable through here. So now we'll just feed it through here and just snug this up just to hold it. Okay, now I'll attach this to our handlebar. All right, we're back at it here. I want to install this. I changed the brake cable here, so I want to install this on the handlebar. We need to remove this grip. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut this grip off. Don't want to scratch the paint on the handlebar here. Okay, cut the grip off. Now let's put our brake cable on. All right, so I put this on. I kind of ran this under because I didn't want it to get out in the way of this gear. Okay, now because I changed the cable on this, I'm just going to take up the slack of that cable, tighten that up, cut the excess off. You know what? I don't think I like that under. I'm going to go on top. We could still reach around and get that, I think. That shouldn't be a problem. There we go. Okay, now we'll tighten that cable. We'll check our cable. Okay, I just got some cable ties. Tied the brake cable in. I brought it around here. Now, okay, got our brake cable on. We took that grip off that looked like that. Now because I sit on this side, my son's over on that side, I want the throttle over here. So here's the throttle piece here. There's a little Allen wrench we're going to tighten it down. I'm going to move that on like that. The kit comes with a short grip. It also comes with a long grip, but we're going to take the short grip and I'm going to put it on there like that. And we're going to tighten everything on. Maybe I'll move that brake cable just in a little bit so that that grip goes onto the end. And maybe I'll replace that grip with the other long one that comes with the kit, just so both sides match. Now I'm just going to go spray this down with some Windex, spray the post down, and we'll slip that right on. Again, little Windex. All right, we got our grips replaced. We got our grip on. You can see here's going to be our throttle. We got our wire coming off our throttle. We got our wire coming off of our brake now. We got our front brakes working. Okay, right now I'm just going to mount our display and our power button. I just opened up this clamp, fit it over the bar. Now we got these bushings, rubber bushings to go in here because the bar is a much smaller diameter. Just to go in there like that. And then we got our power up and our increase and decrease button that I put over here by the brake. So our display here, this here. Now I'll just tighten everything up. Okay, now I'm gonna install it upside right. I see some writing on the back of this and I realized I had it upside down. So I flipped it around. Okay, now I'm just putting all the fasteners in. There's another one to go in here. Tighten this one in. All right, now that I got this on, you can see I got a red connector, green connector, a blue connector, and on our cords here we got a red, green, blue. It's a process of elimination here. Let's just start plugging everything in. Okay, there's a little tab in here. You can see there's a little hole in there in the side. Plus each one has a different amount of pins, holes inside. So first we got to line up that tab. There, once you have the tab, you're going to push the two together. And there we have it. And we'll do the same for the green. Otherwise you could damage these pins. So again, we're going to line up that little key slot with the little keyway here. Give it a slight twist till you feel that you're in the right spot, and then push them together. Now our blue one, we got all our wires connected. Now what I'm going to do, just kind of tidy up these wires, tie wrap everything. All right, just to recap everything here, I mounted our display, our power button, I connected all our wires, I tie wrapped everything to the post. There's an extra wire here. I'm thinking maybe that's for a headlight or something down the road. Now, I kept in mind the whole turning of the front tire here. Just leave yourself enough slack in these cables. I brought the motor cable up from the motor, ran it together, tie wrapped it on here, ran my cables down the post, and there's the controller mounted there. Each connection is unique to the connection where it belongs. So just keep it in mind and make sure you go in straight and make a good connection. All right, now we're going to work on mounting our battery in the back. Okay, here's the battery. What comes with the battery is your charger. and then a cord to plug it in. Now the battery itself, so you unlock the battery. Once you unlock your battery, it slides out of the base. Here's the base of your battery and your connector where it connects to your battery. There's a connector here, goes into your battery. This plate from Worksman to help you mount that battery to the bike. All right, so if I put my battery here, the key's a little too close to the spokes. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna loosen this basket, shift it over this way so I can mount my battery on the rails here. So I'll go ahead and do that. All right, we moved our basket over to the one side. All I did was remove our bolts, slide the basket over, move those brackets over the existing holes, and bolted it back down. All right, now we got room for that battery. Okay, so that's gonna go something like that, right behind that post. So we have room for the key to turn on and off. And of course, we'll do our connections after. But looking down, all I got to do is drill some holes to mount that bracket down to the frame. And then we'll get it all put together here. Okay, I got to say, as I'm working on this, I got the battery plugged in. Get the charger there, just plugged into my extension cord here. So I set the battery base here, kind of where I need or where I want it to be. I held it firm and I just made 4 holes in those slotted grooves, or not holes, but marks I should say. I got a 7/32 drill bit. Now I'm just going to drill some through holes through this frame here. Now here's our mounting plate here. Now the battery itself, this plastic piece, what Worksman did, they had a bolt through here with an oversized nut as a bushing or a spacer here. And then they had a nut on the bottom just to bolt it together. So I'll install those 4 bolts back up and then we'll bolt this down to the frame here. Okay, I got those 4 bolts back in with those little nuts as bushings there and then a nut on the bottom. Now we'll place that over the holes we drilled. Now it's a matter of bolting that plate down to the frame. So these are M5 bolts in case you're missing them. So I'm using a 3mm Allen wrench and an 8mm socket. All right, we got our battery mount here bolted to the frame. Now it's a matter of installing the battery and making all our connections. All right, we got this mounted onto the frame. So you got plenty of room for that key to unlock and lock your battery in. I'll just do a quick overview of where all the wires are going. So from the battery holder, comes up, I got it tie wrapped to this post and I connected it here to our controller. Now the mounting bracket for the controller was too small for this diameter of bar. So I put a few heavier duty tie wraps on there. So for this installation, I would recommend buying a good pack of tie wraps before you get into this, because more tie wraps is better than not enough. Then I made all my connections to my controller, ran it up this bar, just around the pedal assembly there and around and up. And I made sure when I ran where my handlebars go that everything's free and clear of the turning of the handlebars. And everything's up to the controller, the button. We are ready to go. All that's left now is to install the battery there and test this out, see how it goes. Okay, so on the bottom of the battery, You have an on-off switch here for the battery itself to send power to the bike. And back here you have an on-off switch for this brake light. So I'll put the brake light on just to show you. The battery right now is in the off position. If I put it in the on position, it allows that switch to work. Okay, so for the battery installation, I'm just going to leave it in the off position. We're going to slide this onto the mount, plug it in, lock it in place with the key. Then we're going to put our main power on. There we go. We are powered up. All right, now we'll go up to our controller here. Now we're going to press and hold the power button here. Hello. Oh my gosh, it looks like we got this. All right, now that we have everything powered up, before I give this a test drive, we're going to double click this power button. This gets you to your system settings. Now what I'm going to do is go down to where those three dots were. I just want to double check, make sure my wheel size is correct, 20 inch, and our battery size is correct, 48 volts, which it is. If it wasn't, I would just push that and then change it to whatever size wheel it is. Then we'll go down and exit. This is ready for a test drive. Okay, now that we got the electrical kit connected to the bike, after a little bit of time of using it, I'll come back, maybe do another video, tell you what I think, some of the features I like, dislike. We'll see you on the next one. Okay.